Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You open the news and it feels like every headline screams the same thing. AI is taking over. A job is gone here, a skill outdated there. Meanwhile, you feel stuck. Not enough skills, not enough directions, and the worst thought that keeps you up at night. Maybe I'm already too late. Well, if that's you, you're not alone. Millions of people right now are silently wrestling the same fear, including myself. Who am I in an open world where machines can do everything I used to be proud of? Well, this video is not about learning to code in 24 hours. It's about something much deeper. It's about how to reinvent yourself in the age of AI, and even if you're starting from zero. Well, I'm going to walk you through 3 phases of reinvention that anyone can use, and by the end you will see that zero is not the end of story. It's the place where real invention begins. Because here's the paradox. While AI is shutting the doors for millions, it's also opening the doors that only those who reinvent themselves can walk through. So the real question is, which side of history are you going to be on? Alright, so let's talk about the first phase, the collapse. Reinvention always begins with a collapse, and it is painful. It's that moment when you realize the career you built, the degree you paid for, the identity you clung to, no longer guarantees your future. Now for some, it's losing a job. For others, it's watching AI do in 10 seconds what you spent 10 years mastering. And it hurts because it feels personal, like the world is saying you're no longer needed, you're no longer relevant. But here's the hidden truth. Collapse is not a failure. Collapse is the invitation. It's the moment that life forces you to stop running on autopilot and finally ask, what's next? Let me tell you a story about Alex, an old friend of mine who's 38 years old, a sales manager. His company downsized and his role was completely automated by the AI chatbots. Overnight, his secure identity collapsed. For weeks, he spiraled on the same thing. I don't have new skills. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not a techie guy. I think I'm doomed. What's gonna happen to my family and all these things. But collapse was his wake-up call, and it pushed him into the second phase. So, phase 2, the reset. The reset is where the reinvention truly begins. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, but it's powerful. Because it's the phase where you let go of who you were and allow yourself to start small again. Most people get stuck here because their ego screams, but I was a manager, I was a specialist, I was respected. Reset demands you to let that go. You have to let that happen to yourself. And this is where you try things, experiment. Use AI not as a rival, but as a tool to amplify what you do. My friend Alex, he started small. He began learning how to use AI to analyze customer data. No coding, just curiosity. Slowly, he rebuilt his confidence. And not as the old sales manager, but as the guy who could bridge AI with people. Reset is the bridge from collapse to ascent. And maybe that's exactly where you are right now. You don't know where to begin, or maybe you don't know if you're too late. But here's the mindset shift. Zero isn't your weakness, it never was. In fact, zero is now your reset button. And in a world which is being rewritten by AI every month, the ability to reset is your ultimate advantage. Use it. And then comes the third phase, the ascent. This is exactly where you stop surviving and you start building. It's where you blend human strength, empathy, creativity, vision with AI as your amplifier. Remember one thing, it's not about being the smartest in the room. It's about being the most adaptable in the room. Because in the AI age, the winners aren't those who cling to their old titles. They are the ones who are bold enough to write a new one. Think of it as climbing the stairs. Collapse throws you down, reset puts your feet back on the first step, and the ascent is where you start climbing higher than you ever thought possible. You know, in the past 3 years, I've read so many articles, and some of them really clicked me. For example, a 22-year-old with no career direction used AI to launch a small online content channel, and now many are doing it. And then I remember reading an article about a 40-year-old guy who was a factory worker and he used AI to transition into logistics planning. Now, these aren't tech geniuses. These are ordinary people like you and me, and they choose to reset and then ascend. And if they can do, we can do. So, to wrap up, phase 1 collapse, where you accept that the old identity is gone, digest the fact, and it's perfectly fine. Step 2, reset. Start small, let go of ego, experiment with AI as your ally. And step 3, the final phase, which is ascend. You start building something that thrives because of AI, not in spite of it. The moment you choose to accept collapse, embrace the reset, and lean into ascent, you stop being afraid of the future and you start reshaping it. You see, in this age of AI, every single day there's a new innovation. Something new is coming up, and slowly and steadily, we all know that slowly and steadily, AI automation will take up a lot more jobs than what it has already taken. But the fact is that it'll also create new ones, but only for those who are prepared to reset. Because here's the truth, every person watching this is capable of reinvention. Not just a young, not just a tech savvy, you. And maybe right now you feel left behind, maybe you feel invisible, but collapse is not the end. Collapse is your invitation to begin with. Zero is not your weakness. It never was. In fact, it's your superpower. But here's the thing, reinventing yourself in the age of AI is just step one. Because in the age of AI, it's not enough to survive change. The real question is, how do you rise above it and become a superhuman? And that's exactly what I've covered in this video, how to rise above AI and become a superhuman. So make sure you click this and let's take the next step together.